Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to find out how to upset Germans. I would like to know how to upset Germans. I for sure know how you would upset me if you put the Nutella in the fridge. Yes? Let's see what this guy has to say.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Freiburg, Germany. And today we're going to talk about how you could upset Germans when you...
I'm already upset how he pronounced Freiburg. Yeah?
come here as a traveler, because we want to make sure we're ingratiating ourselves to the locals, and we don't want to do the faux pas that might make our German friends a bit ärgerlich, a little upset.
Who do you call friends? I don't even know you.
You need to realize the first way you can upset a German is just being late. Germans are all about being pünktlich, about being on time.
That's
if you have
very
a meeting
bad.
and it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, that doesn't mean you show up at 9. That means you're in the office, you're in the room where the meeting's going to happen at 8:55. So right at 9 a.m., the questions start going, okay? So always be on time.
Yeah, he says 5 minutes late, 5 minutes early. That means you're already too late. Yeah. In Germany we say 15 Minuten vor der Zeit ist des Deutschen Pünktlichkeit. Yeah, you need to arrive 15 minutes before any meeting. Otherwise, you're already late.
If you're going to be late,
Bad
let
research,
people know,
guys.
because one, they're not going to be appreciative that you're late, but they will want to know what's going on. Now, another thing that might upset your German friends is if you get a little jeiny, okay? Which I like to say is, jein is yes and no, ja and nein.
Ach, jein.
Together, okay? It's kind of...
He wrote it wrong. It needs to be with an A. This needs to be an A.
Like, yeah, no, I'm not sure. Look, Germans do not like uncertainty. They do not like risk. They want to know what's going on. They want the certainty of, are you coming or not?
Of course.
If you're kind of flippy-floppy, if you're thinking about ghosting your German friends, that stuff doesn't happen here, okay? You need to be more like, yes, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to not. Because if you're not, that kind of upsets them.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. If you're like that, you will not make German friends. We need to know, are you coming or are you not coming? Yeah. Don't let me know in the last minute or a day before. So annoying.
Because they want to make sure all their plans are set, okay?
Exactly.
And I think one of the things that's important for you to know is, since the Germans are very direct, they're not insulted if you're direct to them. So if you don't want to do something or you can't do something, don't try to figure out an excuse. Just let them know, hey, I can't come, and they'll be okay with that. But just telling them yes
okay.
and then not showing
just
up,
let me know.
the whole ghosting thing, not cool here in Germany, okay? So have a heads up. Now, the third way you can upset Germans when you're here...
By the way, who does that? Such bad behavior.
Is if you assume that everybody in Germany is from Bavaria and wears lederhosen. Look, people wear lederhosen at Oktoberfest, and most of those are actually tourists, okay? Germany is a very diverse country. I mean, going to Munich and Bavaria is a very different experience than going to Hamburg. Very diverse is an overstatement, though. Berlin. You have such variety in this country that when they think that people are thinking they're all the same and they're all Bavarians with the big beer steins and stuff, that doesn't go over very well. And if you actually know Germans, you'll know that if they're not from Bavaria, they like to make fun of the Bavarians. Now, another thing that tourists do that might upset
we like
the
to make fun of them
locals,
because they're the richest.
Will upset a few omas, grandmas, and opas, grandpas along the way, is if you jaywalk. And when I talk about jaywalking, I'm not saying like the middle of the road. I'm saying when you're at the crosswalk and the little Ampelmännchen, the street light guy is there telling you don't walk, and you go. I mean, I lived in Germany for a number of years, and when I've done that, like, people strictly put their arm out and stop me, and they're like,
what? That has never happened to me, and I always cross at red. It may be true that you don't cross at red when there are like little children watching you, because you need to be an example. But if there's no children, most people, or at least like 50%, cross at red anyway.
What are you doing? Sein Vorbild für die
What are you
Kinder.
doing?
Be an example for the children. I'm like, there's no kids around here. There's no cars. What's going on? No. Follow the rules. Otherwise, they're going to be upset. And crossing the street against the light is one of those things. There's even a saying, bei Rot musst du stehen, bei Grün darfst du gehen.
That's not a saying.
By red, you have to stay. But by green, you're allowed to go. All right? So just know that. Young, old, male, female, whatever, you just know the Germans are like, no, we're going to wait until the light lets us go, okay? Another thing that might upset your German friends when you're here, and this is one thing that my students that have studied in Germany have brought up to me, and when I've had students that work with German exchange students, and that is, you might upset them if you don't agree with them on certain things, because Germans like to do a lot of research. They want to make sure they know as much as they can before they make decisions, so they feel that they have the best answer possible. And if you don't agree with them, they don't understand why you wouldn't, because they've done all this research. So that's where I've...
Yeah. We know we're right. We're not saying something unless we know we're right. We're not Americans.
Seen in business settings
Jesus.
and group project settings where people have gotten some upset feelings from both the Germans and from the locals. So just have a heads up with that. But don't think the Germans are
Yeah,
all
don't
stiff
bullshit
and
a German.
no fun. They
Your
will do
fake
parties.
news.
They will have a fun time with the party. And one thing I want to tell you though is you might upset people if you don't follow the party rules. Okay? Because if
Party
a German
rules?
friend of yours invites you to a party, they're inviting you. Not you and your friend and your other friends. No. It's very much just you are invited. There's no plus one. If you want a plus one, you need to ask them, and they'll probably say no, okay, or 9. But just know that they're very specific when they do ask you to come to a party, okay? So don't overdo it. Also,
Yes, that is very much true. Everybody gets upset if you bring someone and you don't let the host know that you're bringing someone, unless it's like your girlfriend or boyfriend and they are expected to come. But yeah, usually you don't bring people unannounced. That's a big no-go here in Germany.
I learned this when I lived here for a number of years is if you're going to be having a party, let's say you're staying here, you're going to school here, you're moving here, and you want to have a party and it's in your apartment building, you need to let your neighbors know that you're going to have that party. I mean, you don't have to invite them, but you need to let them know it's going to happen.
You don't
Otherwise,
need
they
to.
might be a little upset, which I learned from a lady dumping a bucket of water into my apartment. So just have a heads up on that one. Now, another time you
Yeah, some old Germans, grannies, elderly, they get really upset if they live in the same building and you have a party. And even if you let them know, they're just grumpy old people. So yeah, just don't live with grumpy old people in the same house.
you might see an upset German, and this isn't your fault at all, this is their fault, is if you're taking a train on a Friday or a Sunday when they're really, really busy, and you have a seat reservation, and you go to your seat reservation on the ICE, and somebody's sitting in that seat. And you tell them, Entschuldigung, das ist meines, das ist meins. Like, excuse me, this is mine. Oh, they're not going to be happy because they got this seat and they're figuring no one's going to show up in it, so they're going to take it without a reservation. Don't be surprised if they ask you to show your reservation to prove it's your seat, and then they'll look at you like, oh, you took my seat. No, lady, didn't take your seat. I spent the €4 to get the reservation, all right? So do have a heads up for that. No.
I didn't understand that one. But you can reserve seats and you tell people to move away because you paid for that seat for a specific reason, because it's in a quiet area or in a family area. So I never reserve seats because I hate that, because then you're stuck in this seat and there's like children screaming at you. So, and you always find a seat somewhere.
Now, sometimes you don't even realize you're upsetting people when you travel, and that's okay. And the Germans have a fantastic way of letting you know that you messed up. And that's when you hear, hallo. When you hear someone say hello really loud,
So stupid.
I mean, if it's soft, it's hello. It's like
Hello?
But if it's hello, it's like hello,
Hello?
moron. You're doing something wrong. Whether you went in the wrong door at a museum, or you're in the wrong bathroom, or you're doing something you're not supposed to.
It's
Your kids
funny,
doing something
actually, it's true.
stupid. Look, that hello will let you know that you upset somebody, all right? So just have a heads up when you hear that, because you'll be like, what?
If you hear that, it also means someone says hello to you, but it's also used a lot to like pay attention to something you're doing, which is kind of weird. It's a weird word to use for that.
What's something here? It's just a way they get your attention, all right? Now, another thing you might do that might hurt your German friends' feelings is insinuate that they're cheap. Now, Germans are cool if you say they're frugal, they're economical, no problem with that. But if you insinuate that they're cheap, that's when they're like, hey, we're not cheap, we've got money. I'm like, I know. But the thing is if you talk to, in Canada and the US, you talk to waiters about tipping, they don't like German tourists because they don't tip as well. Well, they leave some money, but they don't usually leave the 50 to 20% like you're supposed to. They'll leave like 5% or
Like you're
$3
supposed
on a $100 bill, So
He's assuming
it is one of those things that if you insinuate like, dude, that's kind of cheap, you'll see them be upset. And I'm sure in the comments below, you'll see those things there. Or you...
It's not cheap, yeah? In USA, people don't get paid like for serving people enough. And in Europe, or in Germany at least, and in Germany, the people who serve the food, the drinks, they have a decent salary, yeah? Compared to the US, so they don't need the tipping, yeah, because they can live off the money they earn already with the salary. So actually, the employers in the States or Canada, they are cheap. It's the other way
invite
around.
them over to
Okay?
a party, like, hey, we're all bringing a potluck over, bring some food, and they might show up with some Maggi spaghetti instead of something else. So don't don't insinuate they're cheap. It won't go over well. All right. Just say very economical choice, very frugal choice, smart business move. Okay. So have a heads up with that. Now another thing that you'll learn very quickly is a way you're going to upset your German friends is if you try to take their food or their drink. Because you know, in some countries, when you order food, like everybody's food's kind of everybody else's, and we can try this. Like we're in Italy, like, oh, try
everybody's food is everybody else's? That's not okay. Yeah. Germans don't share their food. Yeah.
Have some of this, have some of this polenta. Portugal, it's like every plate is everybody's, right?
What?
In Germany, it's not that way. That's my bratwurst. That is my Spätzle. That
Exactly.
is my beef.
I wanted to
You
eat
don't
that.
get it.
I don't
So
want
if
to eat
you go
your
and take
crappy
some,
salad.
especially without asking, it's gonna upset them. And even if you do ask, they say yes. Just know in their mind they're like, ich wollte nein sagen. I wanted to say no, but they were very polite and said yes. So just know they don't like sharing their stuff, okay? If you've gotten this far in the video, another thing you might notice that Germans might not like and that you might upset them with is if you point out any of the eccentricities of the Germans and German culture. So look in the comments below and you'll notice some comments of people like pointing out some things I'm messing up and how they're gonna be right about it, okay? Now another way you might upset Germans when you come here is if you recycle wrong. I mean, I lived here a number of years and the recycle program here is legit. The Grüne Punkt, it's like this little like arrow going around, it's called the green point. They have lots and lots of different kinds of recycling here. So it's not just paper and plastic, it's paper, plastic, glass, different kinds of glass, all kinds of stuff that's out there. They have that set up and people are very serious about it. So you want to make sure you are putting the right stuff in the right recycle bin and the right garbage going in the right place because they do a really good job with that. And it really upsets people when you don't. And there's things...
Of course. Why wouldn't it upset us? The system is there for a reason. Have less garbage.
Economically, that will get you to incentivize you to make sure recycling correctly because they have these things called a fund, a deposit like on beer glasses and beer glasses, but like beer bottles and soda bottles and stuff like that. So you don't just throw it away. You take it back, get your money back so they can recycle it easier. Okay.
It's a great system.
Be aware
What
of
can I
that
say?
one. Now, my next one for you that might upset the Germans when you're here is if you drive in Germany not like a German. Look, Germans are very much
slow people on the
about
Autobahn are the worst.
Car, right? And so they've got the Autobahn when they're going way faster than you think you are. So move over because you staying in the left lane. That Indiana drivers, you can't do that here in Germany.
Every German will be very upset about
pass you by. No matter how fast you think you're going, someone else is going to zoom past you in a Porsche, a BMW, or Mercedes. All right. And the Germans do get upset when people don't drive the German way when they're here. So I do recommend maybe take a class about driving or watch some videos on driving in Germany before you come.
If you're a slow driver, never drive on the left lane, okay?
Not necessarily road rage, but just upset Germans driving next to you. And also, don't expect a really good cup holder for your big gulp in a German car. And they don't understand why, okay? So leave that there, all right? And then I want to finish off by another thing that really upsets Germans, and that is if you make Nazi jokes, okay? The history of Germany and the Nazi National Socialist Party that was in power here for a number of years, and World War II and the Holocaust and everything, is it is a stain on the world history, not just German history, but the world's history. And if you make light of that, you make Nazi jokes, you make Hitler jokes and stuff like that, that does not go over well here. People do not like that.
It's just not funny.
That is something that they're ashamed of themselves, and you may think it's a fun joke, I'm poking fun at things. It's not. It is not something that you joke about when you are here, okay? Because that will upset the locals, and I just want you to know that, all right? So those are some ways that you might upset your German friends when you're here in Germany. But what are some ways you've accidentally upset some of your German friends? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, I have another video on how Germans get upset when they travel to the US, which is kind of a fun play on this video to give...
Okay, thank you Walter's World for this video. Pretty good summary, I would say. Would you agree? Yeah. And he was right. Some of those things would really, really upset me. Some less, but some really. Let me think. What else would upset me? Another thing he forgot to mention is people talking on their phones loud in the train or in the bus. That is so annoying to a German. Yeah, if you do that, and it's usually Americans because they think that's the way to live. We Germans hate this. Yeah, if you speak on your phone in the train, even if it's like medium loud, not like super loud, every German in the train will be super annoyed. So avoid that. Yeah, it's just people also say something usually, or even like playing music in the train. Some youngsters often play like music from their phone in the train or in the bus, and it's so annoying. And I myself have said them many times, like, fucking shut your phone down, yeah? So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, go subscribe to Boulder's World, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.